edition of Sports Splash, where we get to give you all the happenings, everything happening in the world of sports, and of course live updates from the world of sports. I am your host today, Uchenna Diana Onobogo, and of course we will keep the ball rolling, talking about what is happening in the MPFL, because a lot of drama has been going on this weekend, and of course a lot will still happen. Talking about this week. Now, of course, we'll start with knowing that the suspension of talking about the Delta State Commission, who have suspended the Warri Wolves head coach, yes, due to a very poor run and unimpressive run in this opening fixture of the MPFL 2025-2026 season. And talking about Warri Wolves now, in a letter which was addressed to Mr. Aluma Napoleon, who is the head coach of Warri Wolves. Now, the Delta State Sports Commission wrote in their letter that they have suspended the head coach of Warri Wolves Football Club, Mr. Aluma Napoleon, with immediate effect. Now, this decision became necessary following the underperformance of the club, which only gained promotion to the Nigerian Professional Premier Football League. Now, of course, in the interim, of course, talking about this particular season, the interim coach will be none other than the assistant coach, Mr. Johnny Austin. Yes, he will be the coach who oversees the affairs of the club until further notice. Now, the commission assures fans and stakeholders of its commitment to repositioning Warri Wolves for improved performance and sustainable success. Now, this is exactly what the Delta State Sports Commission actually wrote. Now, this came due to their underperformance in their last match, talking about Warri Wolves, who, of course, will still have fixtures that will be coming up later on this weekend. Now, as we know it, it is Aluma Napoleon who actually takes this particular, should I say, punishment and the consequences of a very, very unimpressive run. Now, as we know it, Warri Wolves have been trying their best on the table and been trying to actually remain in the MPFL, but it has been very hard. Now, of course, they are still right there on the table in the MPFL. They are currently 11th on the log, but they will be trying everything possible to move ahead. Now, Warri Wolves are not the only ones who have drama to their names. We're going to talk about Kwara United, who also have actually been very, very serious about putting pressure on their coach, who is Tunde Sani. Yes, that is exactly what is going on with Kwara United. And talking about Kwara United, it has been alleged, and of course there are rumors that talking about the coach, Tunde Sani, has been given some matches to actually win, and that is actually 3 matches. It has been rumored that he has 3 matches to prove himself for the club. But when he was asked about his future in Kwara United, he actually responded quite angrily, showing that he is still in charge and knows what he's doing. Nevertheless, talking about Kwara United, the coach Tunde Sani actually lamented and actually explained how unhappy he was with their loss against Asante Kotoko. Now, if you remember, he had quite a little bit of a ruffle with the head coach of Asante Kotoko right there in the CAF Confederations League when they lost to the Ghanaian club 4-3. And of course, he said it in his own words that when they come to Nigeria, there will be a difference and it's not going to be the same thing. But that was exactly, it was quite the opposite. The opposite happened right here in Abeokuta. It was still Kwara United who lost that match, and they are out of the CAF Confederations Cup. And this gave the Ghanaian coach all the rights to actually brag, saying he was going to teach him a lesson. And this time around, a lesson well learned, I would say. But that did not mean that Tunde Sani did not have a lot to say. He said they wasted chances, and he's so unhappy about that. Talking about his team, they had all the chances to win, but they did not win any of them. They did not score any of the goals, and that was quite sad. Talking about the CAF Confederations Cup. Now, of course, like he said in his own words, I'm highly disappointed. Sani said in an interview after the match against Asante Kotoko, he said, look at the number of chances we created. We scored 3 goals in Accra, but we were unable to convert our chances right here at home in Abeokuta, and I am very unhappy about that. Now, of course, their last appearance appearance in the same competition was actually in 2007, and this is the first time since then that they are actually appearing in the CAF Confederations Cup, and now they are out due to a very, very unimpressive run. And now he has been given an ultimatum of 3 matches to make sure that Kwara United actually remain on top. Now, of course, talking about the matches that will be coming up this weekend. Yes, we already know. First of all, we have a match that will be coming up later on today by 4 p.m. It will be Abia Warriors taking on Remo Stars. Now, this match is an outstanding match, knowing that Remo Stars are the only representative Nigeria has in the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup as well. Yes, they are the only Nigerian team representing Nigeria in the Continental Games. Now, of course, they won their last match 1-0, but they beat their opponents from, of course, the Comoros Islands. They beat their opponents 4-0 in the first match, and now it was now a 1-0 win for them. And now they will be facing Abia Warriors in the outstanding matches that they have not played. And this is the first of the outstanding matches they have, and it will be against Abia Warriors today by 4 p.m. Yes, that match will be away from home. It will be right there in Aba. And, of course, talking about the matches, and of course the remaining outstanding match that will be played will be Kano Pillars taking on Kwara United, but that match comes up on Wednesday next week. Now, of course, the league table as it stands, we have Nasarawa United, who have taken the top position over Eyimba, and Niger Tornadoes are coming up just actually, we have Rivers United, who are 11th on the log. Yes, Rivers United are right there. They are 11th on the log after playing 1 match so far, and it still stands the same. Of course, we have Niger Tornadoes, who are just taking a Castina spot. We also have Shooting Stars, who are 6th on the log with 8 points, having played 6 matches. 7th, we have Wiki Tourist, who have 8 points, and they have played 6 games, and they have a goal difference of 0. And we have El Kanemi Warriors, who have a goal difference of -1, having 8 points, having played 6 matches. And we have Ikorodu City, who have 7 points, and of course they have played 6 matches, and right there they are 9th on the log. Now for the bottom 4 would be Rangers International, which is quite a surprise to many. Yes, Rangers, they have 5 points from 5 games, and they have a goal difference of -1. We have Baru FC, who have 5 points, and of course they have from 5 games and the goal difference of just 2. And then we also have Kano Pillars. Kano Pillars have 4 points and a goal difference of -1, and they are right there at the bottom of the league. And finally, it is Kun Kalifat FC, who have 4 points, haven't played 6 matches, but a goal difference of -3. Now, the outstanding matches for Kano Pillars, Abia Warriors, and also Rivers United, and not forgetting Remo Stars. Now, these are the outstanding matches we have for these teams, but so far it will be only Remo Stars who goes forward in the Continental Games. Now, still talking about what is happening on the African scene. Yes, talking about what is happening right here on the African scene. We have the Under-20 World Cup that is ongoing in Chile, and talking about the Flying Eagles, who have lost their first match in the Under-20 World Cup right there in Chile. A very sad one. It was quite a close call, and it was the Flying Eagles who lost their first game in the 9th minute. Yes, a penalty from, of course, Rasmus Holten, who actually gave Norway the lead. And it remained like that until the end of the match, talking about the Under-20 World Cup. Now, talking about the same match, Nigeria had a total of 20 shots, but only 2 on target. That was exactly what happened. A sad one it is, and it is still Nigeria who are the bottom of the group, talking about Group F, Nigeria at the bottom of the group, and they will be trying everything possible to get a win by 12 a.m. today. Yes, when they face Saudi Arabia. That is exactly how it's going to stand. Nigeria will be facing Saudi Arabia by 12 a.m. today, and that match will be a deciding factor if Nigeria will move on to the knockout stages of the Under-20 World Cup. Yes, that is exactly what will be going on now. So far, Nigeria is not the only African team having issues in the Under-20 World Cup. Egypt also lost their first match, and also we have South Africa who lost 2-1 to France. So far, it is Morocco who is holding the African flag high, and of course the Moroccans, they've made it through after beating Brazil 2-1 yesterday. Yes, that was exactly how the match ended. Now Brazil lost to Morocco, and Morocco, they defeated, of course, their first match, they defeated Spain 2-0, and as it stands, Morocco have 6 points, and they are on their way to the knockout stages of the Under-20 World Cup. Now, matches that will be coming up today: Nigeria will be playing Saudi Arabia actually by 12 a.m. today. That match is tomorrow, starting from 12 a.m. South Africa will be facing New Caledonia also by 12 a.m. tomorrow, and that match is a deciding factor for both countries if they remain in the Under-20 World Cup. Now, New Caledonia lost their first match to USA 9-1. Yes, they conceded 9 goals and only managed to score just 1. And of course, we also have for today by 9 p.m., Colombia will be facing Norway. Colombia is the other half, of course, of the Group F fixture, where Nigeria will still face Colombia in their last group game. And USA facing France. France who beat South Africa 2-1. USA will be facing France by 9 p.m., while we have Colombia facing Norway also by 9 p.m. Nigeria will be facing Saudi Arabia by 12 a.m., while South Africa face New Caledonia also by 12 a.m. Panama will be facing South Korea by 9 p.m. tomorrow, while Ukraine face Paraguay also by 9 p.m. tomorrow. On Saturday, we have another African fixture where we get to see Egypt face Chile, the host themselves, by 12 a.m. on Saturday. And of course, we also have New Zealand facing Japan also by 12 a.m. Mexico will be facing Morocco by 9 p.m., while Spain will be facing Brazil, a match to watch by 9 p.m. on Saturday. Argentina will be facing Italy on Sunday by 12 a.m., while Australia do the same with Cuba also by 12 a.m. Now, of course, we still have to talk about the national team news, where we get to say that the under-17 females, talking about the Flamingos, they are on their way, yes, to Morocco. They departed from Nigeria, of course, on their way to Morocco. That is going to be for the under-17 World Cup. Now, they qualified way back in April after playing a draw with Algeria, and it was a 1-1. It was a 0-0 draw, but total in aggregate was 4-0 in favor of the Flamingos of Nigeria. And now the under-17, they are on their way to Morocco, where they will be facing Canada in their first match. Now the first match comes on Saturday, and that is exactly how it starts. Now, talking about the matches that will be happening right there in Morocco. Now, the first match comes up on the 17th of October. That is Friday. That is when the Under-17 Women's World Cup will hold. It actually goes on from the 17th of October to the 8th of November. And on the 17th, we have Morocco facing Brazil as the host. Yes, Morocco facing Brazil by 8 p.m. Nigerian time. And, of course, on Saturday, we have Italy facing Croatia by 2 p.m. We have China facing Norway, who are also right there in the Under-17 Women's World Cup by 2 p.m. as well. Now, we also have the North Korea facing Mexico also by 8 p.m. Cameroon, who is one of the African countries representing Africa right there in the Under-17 Women's World Cup, will be facing Netherlands also by 8 p.m. Nigeria will be facing Canada by 8 p.m., but that match comes up on Sunday. Now, matches that will also take place on Sunday will be Spain taking on Colombia also by 8 p.m. Zambia, another African representative, will be facing Paraguay also by 8 p.m. Korea will be facing Cote d'Ivoire by 2 p.m., while Japan face New Zealand by 2 p.m. as well. And of course, those are the matches we have for Sunday, where Nigeria also faces Canada in their first of the Group D matches. Now, of course, we know that this is the first time the competition will actually have 24 teams. Nigeria has actually tried their best, talking about the Under-17 women. They have tried their best before to actually get a medal, and that is the first time, talking about when they got a medal in their last one where they beat Germany in penalties, and that was in 2022 in India. They've taken the 3rd place before, and this time around they are gunning for the 1st place. They're talking about Moshood and Queen Joseph, who have said it is not impossible to win the Under-17 World Cup, and we get to see what the women are going to do this time. Now, talking about the Under-17 female side, on the male side, it is a little bit of a bad news for Nigerians. There will be no Under-17 team from the male side representing Nigeria in the AFCON or in the World Cup. Yes, you heard me right now. Nigeria lost to Ghana 2-0 in the WAFU Zone B qualifiers. Now, they actually beat Benin Republic 4-1, and they also had a goalless draw with Burkina Faso. But when they got to the semi-finals facing Ghana, they were beaten hands down. And as it stands, Ghana have qualified for the finals, and they will be facing Cote d'Ivoire for one of the top spots. Now, the game, as the game goes, only the semi-finalists, only the finalists get to qualify for the AFCON and the World Cup from Africa. And Nigeria is not on that list. So Nigeria is out of the AFCON qualifiers and also out of the World Cup qualifiers. Now, there will be no Under-17 team for the male side for Nigeria, both in the AFCON and the Under-17. So far, we have only our women, talking about the Flamingos, to actually cheer on right there in Morocco 2025 that takes place later on this month. And a very sad one for Nigeria, but we get to see what happens later on. And hopefully the Super Eagles will get to qualify for the World Cup, and maybe it's not going to be quite sad after all. Now, of course, this is exactly how it stands in the under 17 AFCON qualifiers for the Golden Eaglets, and they are out of both competitions and will not represent Nigeria in any of them. Now, still moving on, we have to talk about what is happening outside Africa, outside the shores of Africa, where we have Africans, especially Nigerians, still doing it pretty well and bringing it hot in the UEFA Champions League. Yes, that is what I'm talking about, the UEFA Champions League, where we have Victor Osimhen, who is actually the first Nigerian now to hit double figures in the UEFA Champions League. And of course, he actually scored the only goal for Galatasaray when they defeated Liverpool. Yes, you heard me right. Galatasaray from Turkey defeated Liverpool, and that was a 1-0 in favor of Galatasaray right there against Liverpool in the UEFA Champions League. And this has made Osimhen become the first Nigerian to actually hit double figures so far in the UEFA Champions League, and he was the man of the match, talking about Victor Osimhen. And of course, he is on fire for Galatasaray, and people would call this a very wonderful Independence Day gift, and that was exactly what it was for Nigerians. Victor Osimhen scoring in the 16th minute for Galatasaray, making it 1-0 in favor of the Turkish club, and he will be moving on. Talking about the table, the new phase of the UEFA Champions League, Liverpool losing this match after a very hard one over the weekend, and now they've lost against Galatasaray, courtesy of Victor Osimhen. And of course, he has scored for 3 different clubs. Talking about Lille from France, he also scored for for Napoli, I beg your pardon, and Galatasaray. He now has 10 Champions League goals so far. He's the first to hit double figures for Nigerians, and of course a big one it is. Now, still talking about the rest of the matches, it was Napoli who defeated Sporting, and the goals came from none other than Rasmus Højlund, who is on loan from Manchester United. It seems whenever the players leave Manchester United, they just shine even more. And that was exactly what happened. Rasmus Højlund scored 2 goals. He scored the 2 goals, the only 2 goals for Napoli when they defeated Sporting. And it was in the 36th minute and in the 79th minute. And it was 2-1 in favor of Napoli. Now, another match that was quite interesting was Monaco taking on Man City in the Principality Stadium right there in Monaco, and it was Jordan Teze who scored the first goal in the first goal for Monaco in the 18th minute. Now, this was 3 minutes after Erling Haaland scored the first goal of the match for Man City, and it was not enough. 3 minutes later, it was Jordan Teze who actually scored for Monaco, but it was not enough. In the 44th minute, Erling Haaland scored again. 3 first-half goals, making it look like Man City were going away with the win, but Monaco were not to be put down. Now, talking about a very controversial penalty that was given to Eric Dyer, and he actually scored that in the 90th minute for Monaco, making it 2-2 in favor of both sides who share a point. Now, at it stands, Monaco have a point from their Champions League game. Now, so talking about the Champions League, it was of course, like we saw when PSG and Barca actually had a clash of the Titans, and it was a PSG who came out on top. Yeah, a PSG without many key players, talking about no João Neves, of course, no Marquinhos, Ousmane Dembele was also missing from that match, and Desire Doué, and of course, a host of them. It was Mayulu, yes, a 19-year-old who scored the first goal for PSG. Yes, Seri Mayulu scored in the 38th minute for PSG, and also Gonzalo Ramos rounded it up. Yes, he wrapped it up, making it a 90-minute stunner for PSG after Ferran Torres scored with an assist for Marcus Rashford. Yes, and then that was in the 19th minute, making it look like Barcelona had control of the game. But that was not exactly what happened. Barcelona had no control of the game, and they lost to a PSG who have quite a number of key players missing from the squad. A very sad one for Barcelona fans who actually have no explanation so far. Hansi Flick was actually quite unhappy about that. But we get to see surprises in the Champions League, and that is exactly how it used to be. Now, of course, as we've said, PSG now have a point to their name, talking about the Champions League. And, of course, they will be enjoying that all the way. Now, as it stands on the table of the Champions League, yes, it is Bayern Munich with 6 points, Real Madrid with 6 points as well from 2 games, PSG, Inter Milan, Arsenal, Karabakh are now the first Azerbaijan team and the first club from Azerbaijan to win back-to-back Champions League games. Yes, and that was exactly what happened for Karabakh. They won their last match as well yesterday. And Borussia Dortmund defeated Athletic Club 4-1, and it was quite a big match for them. And of course, we also have Man City having 4 points, who now have a draw. Tottenham also have a draw, while Atletico Madrid also have 3 points to their name. And we also have Newcastle, who have only 3 points to their name so far. Olympique Marseille have 3 points as well. Club Brugge the same, 3 points all the way to the 19th placed Napoli. And of course, Chelsea also defeated Benfica via an own goal from Rios, and that was the only goal of the game, as Jose Mourinho was not ready to concede more from his former team. Now, there will be Europa League action coming up later on today. Yes, Europa League action that will be coming up later on today. Fenerbahce will be facing Nice by 5:45 p.m. Bologna will be facing Freiburg by 5:45 p.m. We also have Celtic taking on Braga as well. Panathinaikos will be facing Go-Ahead Eagles, while we have Lodogres taking on Real Betis. We have Celta Vigo taking on PAOK as well. And FC Porto will be taking on Zelda as well. Yes, these are the matches we have for today, right there in the, of course, Europa League fixtures. Maccabi Tel Aviv taking on Dynamo Zagreb, while Nottingham Forest, who are right there in the Europa League, will be facing Midtjylland FC. Sturm Graz will take on Rangers, and we have Feyenoord taking on Aston Villa. Genk, of course, is also still playing. They'll be facing Ferencváros, and we also have Lyon taking on Salzburg. These are the matches we have for today, and those matches are by 8 p.m. and 5:45 p.m. respectively. Yes, where we also have Roma taking on Lille also by 5:45 p.m. Now, for the matches we have this weekend, talking about the Premier League. Yes, the Premier League, and of course, it is Liverpool running away with those points. They have 15 points so far, and of course, Arsenal chasing them very hot behind with 13 points on a goal difference of +9 to Liverpool's +5. Crystal Palace are third on the log with 12 points, and they have a goal difference of +5 as well. And we also have Tottenham. Tottenham have 11 points with a goal difference of +7. Yes, and we have Sunderland. Sunderland, they are right there, 5th on the log, coming in from the Championship, and they have 11 points. and they have a goal difference of 3. And then right there in the bottom half of the league, we have Manchester United, almost in the same place they ended last season. It almost looks as if that is now a permanent spot for Manchester United. And we get to see what happens at the end of the season, if they will improve or not. We get to see Newcastle taking 15 places behind the Manchester United with 6 points and a goal difference of -1. Aston Villa coming in right there, 16th place with a goal difference of -2 and 6 points. Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers, they are at the bottom of the league with a goal difference of -9 and just 1 point so far. We have West Ham. West Ham finally having a draw against Everton, and of course they have a new coach, talking about Nuno Espirito, who was the former coach of Nottingham Forest, and right now he is right there in West Ham trying his best to make sure the Hammers come back all the way. And we have Burnley. Burnley have 4 points so far with a goal difference of -7. Nottingham Forest, their 17th place with 5 points and a goal difference of -5. And that is the bottom half of the table. And now for the fixtures, Arsenal will be taking on West Ham by 3 p.m. on Saturday. Tomorrow's match starts with Bournemouth taking on Fulham by 8 p.m. Leeds United will face Tottenham, I beg your pardon, by 12:30 p.m. on Saturday. And we also have Manchester United taking on a Sunderland that is red hot, and that match is by 3 p.m. on Saturday. Now, a cracker for the weekend, the Super Saturday, will be Chelsea taking on Liverpool by 5:30 p.m. That match comes up on Saturday. You make sure you watch that. Aston Villa on Sunday will take on Burnley by 2 p.m. and we have Everton taking on Crystal Palace also by 2 p.m. And we also have Newcastle facing Nottingham Forest by 2 p.m. as well. Wolverhampton Wanderers will try their best against Brighton at home also by 2 p.m. While the last match of the weekend in the Premier League will be Brentford taking on Manchester City by 4:30 p.m. And with this, we come to the end of Sports Splash today. Thank you so much for joining us. You can join us again for more sports news update tomorrow. Bye for now. See you some other time.